Welcome back to Sailing NV, where we're turning an open 60 race boat into a fast family cruiser. In this episode, it's finally time to tune our carbon fibre mast and rig.
The mentor here to teach me.
We were so lucky that the builder of our mast, Kula from Applied Composite Technologies in Australia, very kindly offered to come and help us with this.
She carries about 17 tons of compression in a racing tune. It's a whole frame, a whole boat.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going up now. We're going to the full two
Oh my god,
ships.
I'm scared. We were nervous to see whether the hull of our boat, originally built over 30 years ago, would still resist to so much tension. Our mast is approximately 26 metres long and made of carbon fibre. It's got 3 spreaders, and the standing rigging consists of 2 cap shrouds and 3 sets of diagonals, D1, D2 and D3. Rigging on boats is usually tensioned by hand using turnbuckles, but for boats and rigging over a certain size, this becomes no longer possible as the force needed produces so much heat that it would cause the turnbuckles to deform. So in this case, a hydraulic jack is used to tension them further. Here you can see the pistons from our hydraulic jack positioned underneath a bar that goes through a hole in the bottom of the mast. The pistons of the jack push on this bar to lift up the mast so that wedges, known as shims, can be slid underneath.
So the Applied Composite Technologies have been contracted by Sydney guys. We had completed the rig pretty quickly and stepped it already in Sydney on the 10th of March. So pretty much 3 months and 10 days. So 1,500 man-hours went into the rig and stepping. I was only called once to Sydney to tune that rig as they were heading for Hamilton Islands regatta and then planning to do Hobart. That was on the 15th of July 2011, that is 11 years ago. I went to Sydney to tune it. She carries about 17 tons of compression in a racing tune.
Pete explained that in racing tune, the cap shrouds are tuned to 20% of their braking strength,
which is a quite high tune. My intention is to tune it a little bit lighter, put it minimum like 15%. Okay,
15%.
15, yeah, which is good standard of industry.
When we stepped our rig, we just did the turnbuckles up by hand as we were waiting for this moment to tune the rig properly. So the first step was to jack up the mast to fit the shims underneath and see what tension this would put the rig under.
Keep the air open.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. Close to the bulkhead. Yes, I
If
see.
you could watch the
D1 and
ones,
D2.
so they don't get stuck and damaged. Okay. See, much is going up nicely. Bars. So that one goes in now, okay, and then sits over the boat. Okay, sits over the boat. Okay, we're going up now. We're going to the full 2
Oh my god,
ships.
I'm scared.
Don't stand too close. Come in front. Don't stay on the side of the
because
mast.
if anything jumps,
Yeah.
you'll be. are on 240. We want to go to 260. Yeah. Are the D1s lowers tight or are they still loose?
The D1 is still loose.
Good.
really
Yeah. And
loose.
D2s start tightening up a little bit.
Yeah, they take a little bit, but they are very loose.
Yes,
You can see the bend of the rod,
Cool.
and they shake. The D3, they look like tight. It is scary.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Huh? Huh?
We have scary to break everything. No, we trust in you. I am scary to have a missing something.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
it's more sexy almost than the shoe, man.
That's already engaged.
It's like wearing his high heels.
The line's engaged. It's not moving. Okay.
To determine the pressure that the mast is under when it's sat on the blocks, we release the pressure on the jack, shaking the blocks until they're no longer loose, and at that moment we know that the mast is sitting on the blocks and no longer on the pistons of the jack, and that is the pressure the mast is under.
220.
220, this is the tuning.
The pressure at the moment, because that's where the mash set. I mean, it's actually a bit less because the keelson is a bit spongy.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
100%, million percent firm.
How could you tell? You just felt it.
I was
Shake
be able
until-
to shake till like
okay,
reach
until you
220,
can't manage.
and it set.
Okay.
Each rod breaks at 27 tons, so you got 54.5 tons of braking strength.
As we mentioned before, in racing mode, the rig on this boat was tensioned to about 20% of its braking strength, and the minimum tension required would be about 15% of braking strength. So our idea is that we will add one more thinner shim when we're sailing, and that when this shim is in place, ideally our mast is under something like 18% of the braking strength, and that when we are docked for a longer period, we can remove this shim and the pressure would be reduced back down to something like 15%. Reducing the pressure on the rig will hopefully help to prolong its life.
At 18%, we wanted around 10 tons. Okay, that's what designer wanted. Okay, 10 tons of pressure. So on this jack, 10 tons of pressure is achieved at 260 bars. So I was going to have 260 bars, but I have only 220.
Okay. But we're going to put one more shim in.
Well, we're going to put one more shim in, okay? And that would be likely this 10 millimeter. We can, but we don't have to. If we do put that one, okay, then you'll be able to remove this for the staying dormant for months sometimes. So you can dejack it, okay? With the current setup of the turnbuckles, I'm guessing that we might have to undo a little bit them in order to put this and have it around 260. Look, what's 220? If we're not putting this puppy and only had those two, so it's about 9 tons.
So as Pete was just explaining, we're already at 220 bars of pressure, which for our jack equivalates to about 9 tons of compression. This means the rig is already close to the high racing tune, which is 20% of the braking strength. The diagonals were also involved in this calculation, and since they were currently slack, we had to remember that when tensioned, they'd probably add about a ton or more of pressure each.
D2 and D3 are relatively slack. Once we put 1 ton on them, they're gonna compress 1, 2, 3, 4 tons down onto the mast, okay? And the 4 tons gonna bring the V1 cap shroud, which holds
We are
them
ready
all.
in 260 when
It's gonna bring to around 25%, which is high racing tune.
Yeah.
And I don't want that high.
I don't want that high, yeah.
So,
So we decided to dejack the mast and undo the turnbuckles on the cap shrouds a bit before increasing the pressure further to fit in the third shim.
we're just only dropping down now, slowly.
Oh my god. It's a scary noise.
The scariest part is the hydraulics. If they break, That will be dangerous. Huge pressure. 700 bars. If the line breaks, the fluid will hit clouds, will cut through flesh, through everything. That's what pressure is.
Di cut arm?
I will cut you in half. So always make sure that you got the right nick. Yeah, so be aware of pressure. Pressure is a vicious
Terrifying.
thing. It's like a bomb exploding. 700 bars is just huge pressure. 700 times the atmospheric pressure.
No, and sorry,
Squash you to that thing.
It's okay. If I think about the
So no,
the
take
radar.
it seriously because safety is in there.
For
you know?
that I give to refit.
Take good care of it.
I think, okay.
So we detension the cap shrouds, checking carefully that we tuned the port and starboard side to the same amount.
Good.
Yeah.
With the tension on the cap shrouds now reduced, it was time to jack the mast back up and try to fit in this third shim. Oh, it makes me very nervous. When you did the rudder, Timo, how much pressure did you get to?
A lot. I reckon.
Maybe 200. We used the same jack to push out our rudder and bearing from the boat. But up till now, we didn't have the correct conversion from the reading on the gauge to the pressure being exerted by the pistons. Now we've got the graph for our jack. Thanks to Peter, we realised that we were pushing with a lot more force than we'd originally realised.
120 kilos.
We can now see from this graph that 120 bars is exerting 5 tons of force.
So only 160.
And 160 bars is almost 7 tons.
220 kilos.
9 tons.
Oh la Madonna, 250 kilos.
10.5 tons.
250 kilos. 300 kilos.
12.5 tons.
80 kilos.
3.5 tons.
So 60 millimeters of shims we'll have on the end for a 60 footer. It's 66 actually, so it's just right. So with this, you can easily turn turnbuckles by hands in a way.
Yeah, it's amazing.
On these shims, still you can easily turn turnbuckles without frying them.
Yeah,
If
also
you
with
remove
one
the-
shim we can use it with the range, with no shim we can do by hand,
By hands,
and now we don't touch
Yeah.
because they can damage if we touch now. Madonna santa. You don't use the helmet sometimes? If I do your job, I use the helmet.
You can put the bolts now.
Okay.
I'm going for another 10 mil. Actually only 7 mil. I've got 3 already.
Wait, I put also
See, I'm not even 300 yet. We're already in there. So
300.
not even yet. I mean on the rise, because you're not checking on the rise, we're checking on the drop.
Check the diagonal.
I'm looking, yeah.
Is it slack?
Yeah.
We'll send you on the top and we're gonna be here. Oh.
Oh my god.
Okay, potete to shim one.
See, we're on the end of the jack wrench. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more, few pumps.
Yes, we need more. We can put more special.
No, it's still going. I'm going.
Yeah, another few pumps and be out of range of jacks. We're lucky. Yeah, that's package.
Okay, yeah.
One more pump.
Wait, yeah, no, the position to the is very difficult to.
Yeah, it
set
sits in the middle roughly.
Okay. Allora, I have the 2 bolts here for use it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I use these 2 bolts like alignment,
Yeah.
but I don't want to push inside. What do
No,
you think?
no.
I push all inside or
No,
I
no,
put
no,
the line outside?
on the edge, yeah, on the edge.
Okay, like this I can
Like
control. Let me
Yeah, double check.
to me. Okay.
Oh god.
I think I do like
Is that how?
this.
Oh, with your fingers.
Okay, please.
Okay,
go
now
down.
you're gonna be shaking it and telling me where.
my
where
God.
okay, you just yell when it gets firm.
Go.
Hang on. Okay. I'm going very slowly.
Go.
Down, 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 down. To 80, to 60, to 40,
Ready to stop, eh? Go.
to 40 still,
Go.
to 40,
Go.
to 30,
Stop!
to 30, to 20, to 30. That's what you wanted, yeah?
Let me see.
So what happens if you don't?
This one.
Oh, you wouldn't know then. That's all. You
It's
just
a
wouldn't
little
know.
bit on the line.
Now the problem is she's
perfect.
not really sitting properly.
Yeah, we still are on the jack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because still on the jack, you know. So put your finger here.
Yeah.
You put it somewhere there, and look, I'm gonna keep on dumping. I'm gonna dump now.
Do it. I feel it.
You feel okay? So the true pressure is unknown. No one can tell you because
Yeah. Okay.
if
That's
this
exactly
keystone
so.
was infinitely stiff,
It's
Yeah.
low.
we would catch that moment.
Yeah.
Because it behaves like a sponge. Okay, you don't exactly know when the mass landed on the 100%. You know.
Sure.
But pumping up doesn't know better because the springiness, the sponginess of the
The
works in
aluminum
reverse.
go
So
back again.
you'll be already holding a couple of tons by the time you start feeling
okay.
any movement there. So it's only in infinity stiff keelson, a boat made of unknown material would be, you know, like sitting on the concrete bank, you know, nothing here. It's not actually the keelson, it's a whole frame, a whole boat.
Yeah. If you go outside, you watch the light on the hole, you can see.
Really?
Yeah. Also the deck, I can do like this or like this. Yeah.
But it's meant to do it a little bit.
Everything
It's all the more.
everything is flexible. Even this rod,
yeah.
which subjected to 10 tons or 5 tons each on the side, it probably grew by about 3 millimeter
Yeah, it's
in
like
length, you know. Because it's all elasticity of materials. Carbon is the stiffest. Steel is very stiff too, but some other materials are not.
Yeah. Okay.
.230 is precisely 8 tons 600 kilo. Let's write it down. 8,600 kilograms, which is 4,300 each. Broomstick had 10 tons. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 tons on each side.
20%.
Yes, that's what it is. So if you wanna know what sort of percentage of braking strength it is.
You might remember from before we said that each side of the rig has a braking strength of 27.2 tons. Since we just recorded a tension of 4.3 tons on each side, this means we're currently at almost 16% of the braking strength.
4,200 kilo breaking strength of each of these rods, and we subjected this to 4.3, so 4,300 divided by 27,200. We had 15%, almost 16% of breaking strength. Okay.
Okay.
So that's 15.8, so let's say 16.
Yeah.
Okay. So 16% of breaking strength of the rod, and that's what I said. 15 is a good, solid, recommended
for long life.
For me.
Now I have to go on the mast and I go.
Yeah. Now we're sitting. We're sitting on the tune. First thing we do before we have a cover water is we tune D1s by hand only, just to keep the mast straight. Okay. So we put literally nothing on it.
We go to watch one moment. I wanna see the form of the mast. What we do it for understand what we ever do it up to now. I prepare me for climbs.
I'll brief you for this.
Next, it was time to think about the diagonals. Stay tuned to see how we go measuring the tension on these and what the total tension on our rig is at the end.
So 20.
Yeah, we're looking for 45. Okay.
Yeah. Solo coming up with me. Where is your arm? We go to work on the mast. Eh?
You ready?
Beautiful dog.
You're not looking very ready, Solo.
You're ready?